Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Dragon Mystery Rummy, the Case of the Rare Dragon. Now this is one of the many games that you can play in the Book of Dragons, which is a card game system that's language independent, colorblind friendly, and where you can play 18 or more games by 16 or more designers. So today we are looking at Dragon Mystery Rummy, the Case of the Rare Dragon. It's designed by Mike Fitzgerald, and it's a 2 to 4 player card game that has a unique twist on traditional Rummy style games that has hand management, set collection, and a little bit of press your luck. So without further ado, I'm going to do a rule school. So I'm going to give you a quick overview to give you some context, and then teach you how to set up and play the game so that you don't have to read the rule book. So let's get going. Dragon Mystery Rummy, the Case of the Rare Dragon is a 2 to 4 player twist on a traditional Rummy game. You'll be drawing cards from a draw deck or from a cascading discard pile. Each game you'll have different special dragons that come out, some that allow you to draw more cards, and others that allow you to steal rare dragons from other players. You'll also be trying to play sets of 3 or more of the identical dragons, and you can also play dragons when other people's have sets of 3 to steal them from them. Every time you play a draw 2 dragon, it'll be worth minus points at the end of the game. You'll need to time your rare dragon play at the right time, minimize the draw dragons if you can, and grab the cascading discard cards at the right time. If you can, maybe you'll just be the winner of Dragon Mystery Rummy, the Case of the Rare Dragon. To set up, you'll first shuffle all 40 cards in the playing deck, and then you'll deal out a certain amount of cards depending on the amount of players. As you see in this table here, 8 cards for 2 players, 7 cards for 3 players, or 6 cards for 4 players. Next, you'll take the top 2 cards off the deck and place them just to the right of the deck. Like in this case, if both dragons are the same type, you'll shuffle in one of the dragons back into the deck and draw a new card. So when you correctly have 2 different dragons to the right, it might look something like this. Next, take the top card off the deck and put it face up to the left of it. This will begin a discard pile. The first player to state that they're the first player is the first player. Otherwise, the oldest player will go first. The object of the game is to have the most points as soon as one player has 50 or more points, and you'll do so by playing sets of dragons from your hand. Each game is played over multiple hands, and in each hand, players will be playing in clockwise order. They'll be drawing cards, they'll be possibly playing cards, and then discarding down cards until one player has run out of cards. At the beginning of your turn, you have to do one of these 2 things. Either draw the top single card from the draw deck, or take cards from the discard pile. The discard pile starts with 1 card at the beginning of the game, but over the course of the game, cards will be added to it. Anytime cards are added to the discard pile, they'll be overlaid like this so you can see each of the cards that are there. You can also orient this discard pile in any way that fits your table the best. In this case, I'm going left to right like this, but you could have it go top to bottom as well, whatever works best for your table, as long as they're overlaid so that you can see all of the cards in the discard pile. Now, when taking cards from the discard pile, there's 2 rules you must follow. Number 1 is you must take all of the cards that are also above the card that you're taking. So for example, if I wanted this black shadow dragon, I would have to take it and all the cards that are overlaid on top of it, which would mean all 3 of these cards. Now before I do that, also the furthest card back that you're taking, in this case the black shadow dragon, must be a card that you play this turn. So if I took this, I must have to play this black shadow dragon, but all these cards would go in my hand. Now once you've either drawn the top card off the draw deck or taken cards from the discard pile, you then have the option to play different cards from your hand. Now's a good time to talk about the 2 cards that we set up at the beginning of the game. This card closest to the deck is known as the Draw 2 Dragon. Now if you remember, this Shadow Dragon was the card that I had to play because it was the furthest back in the discard pile. When I play this, because it's the Draw 2 Dragon, I will draw 2 off the top of the deck. However, keep in mind you can only play 1 of these each turn, and each of these at the end of the game in your tableau will be worth minus 1 point. Now the other dragon that we set up at the beginning of the game is the Rare Dragon. Now if I play one of these rare dragons in my tableau, I get to take all other rare dragons in other people's tableaus. So this player over there here had it, and now I can take it and place it with mine. You take all of those from all the other opponents. But make sure you never take the rare dragon that's actually out in the middle of the table. You can also play a set of 3 or 4 of the same dragon. In this case, I threw down 3 forest dragons at the same time. There has to be at least 3, but it can be up to 4 at the same time. Now, if there's a set of exactly 3 identical dragons In an opponent's tableau, in this case there's 3 sun dragons, you can play one of those to your tableau. And when you do that, you'll take one of these from them, which means that you both have 2. Now this can only be done if someone has exactly 3, and you play 1 card of that dragon, and you essentially split them, because there's only 4 of each dragon in the deck. If you have a set of 3 dragons, you can also play a 4th dragon of that set in front of yourself like this. Now there's only 4 dragons of each kind in the entire deck, so the most that you'll ever have in front of you is 4 of any one dragon. And when you're done playing cards, which is optional, you'll place a card on the discard pile. You must place a card on the discard pile. If you play cards from your hand and you don't have any cards to play into the discard pile, then you cannot play the cards down on your tableau that leave you with 0 cards, because you always have to finish by discarding 1 card to the discard pile. And then play goes to the next player to the left clockwise. This turn structure continues until one of 2 things happen that end the hand. The first thing that could possibly happen is someone discards their last card in their hand to the discard pile. This is the only time that you can have 0 cards in your hand. It ends immediately. Otherwise, if a player draws the last card of the draw pile, then it will end at the end of that player's turn. At the end of the hand, any cards you still have in your hand are worth nothing. You can discard them. All the cards in your tableau will score something. The rear dragons, for each one of those you'll score 3 points, so that's 6. The draw 2 dragon, each one of those is -1 point, so it's 6 minus 1 is 5. All other dragons are worth 1 point. So in this case, I have 10 points. You write down everyone's scores on a piece of paper and pencil, which is not included, and if somebody has 50 or more points, they've won. If more than one player has 50 points, then the one who has the most is the winner. If it's tied, you share victory, and you can set any number of points you want for a shorter or longer game. Well, I hope this helped you dive into Dragon Mystery Rummy, the case of the rare dragon, faster than you normally would if you were to read the rulebook yourself. Now, if you have additional questions, I've placed a link below me in the description of this video, and if you place your questions there, I'll be notified, but so will the publisher, and they might be able to help out as well.